Hello, Libras. Welcome, welcome. For those of you, I appreciate you coming in if you are new to my channel, and I hope that everybody is good and healthy. My name is Patty. I am here to do your intuitive tarot along with some astrology and numerology. So you'll find that it is, I call it divine driven because it is divine guided. I hope that this will help you in any challenges or questions that you may have sitting on the fence, trying to figure out, or if you're at a rock bottom. I hope this helps you. The oracles I'm going to be pulling, the first card is going to be for the divine. The second one is for the current energies, and the third one is for future energies. So future energies meaning maybe they're planetary. So let's see what everybody has to say on the other side. Now, when I say everybody, let me share that with you a little bit. I go to divine first. Divine is they, 3 in 1, Holy Trinity, whatever you want to call it. And the others may be ancestors or somebody coming through with wisdom. So I always go for wisdom first because knowledge is more earthly, and that can change and be altered, whereas wisdom is more constant. All right. So let's get started. This is for the 31st through the 6th. And I don't have any announcements other than there are dailies going on through the month of June. So Monday through Friday, there's 1-minute dailies that are about, well, depending on where you are in the world, but I post them about 3 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully they are in a time slot for your beginning of your day. So they're inspirational and just to help you get through the day. All right. So let's see what we've got going here. Okay, so first energy out, definitely. Now, for those of you that are brand new, I'm using oracles for the theme. Oracles sort of give a theme of things, and then the tarot cards are the reading part. So the Divine's card right now is movement. Okay, so we have the movement and the number 9. Number 9 can be something about ready to end. Something is also very, very intense. This movement, we don't know if it's fast or slow or whatever, but the only thing we know with the divine is that he wants to keep us moving. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. He can't help or act or do anything for anyone if we don't keep moving. If we're stuck, if we're sort of thinking of the past, staying in the past, that's not moving because you're going backwards. It's somewhat moving. However, that's not the way he wants us to move. He wants us to keep moving forward and in the front. So let's see what the current energies are going to be, and then we'll see what the futures are. And I bet you they're all going to coincide to each other. Each other. All right. So we have the owl. Yeah, definitely. Interesting. This one's a challenge. The future energy is a challenge for a lot of people. So the current energy is the owl, deception and wisdom. So when you are moving in the right direction or the right journey, you listen to your intuition, you listen to that little voice inside of you, and it helps you keep focused and on the right track. The owl is about, is it deceiving or is it not deceiving? Is it more wisdom or is it more distraction? Is it more something that is keeping you from your purpose and your calling? So it can actually pull you away. So this is also the number 4 on the owl. And the owl is more about stability, more about, doing things more in a calm manner, staying calm through a whole process. But the owl can discern actually if it's more deceptive or if it's more of a higher energy, more wisdom. So this is something where the divine is talking to you about how to move, to understand if you can tell the difference if somebody's trying to deceive you or not. Makes a big difference. Okay, that is like a spiritual thought process and more of a inner self, listening to inner self process than a worldly process, which is your head. Ah, man, dude, you're lying. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, you're not. That kind of a thing. You just sort of go with what somebody is saying. That's more worldly rather than listening to what is being told to you inside. Okay, so your future energy, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it'd be the number 4 again. So the future energy is forgiveness. Okay. That is a really tough one for a lot of people to swallow because a lot of the times we want to be forgiven, but we don't want to forgive others. So, this forward movement, this is a process. Somebody might have deceived or, deceived somebody, not been very honest with somebody. And then we have to forgive them in the future. It's like, oh, heck no, I'm not going to forgive them. Why should I forgive them? You know, they're the ones that did it. There's the one that's lied. But there's a lesson in all of it for both of us. So this is definitely energies that are moving the divine, moving us towards a more peaceful being, because if we learn what is wisdom and what is deception, then we will move forward more into forgiveness. Forgiveness is really, really hard because a lot of people are very much still in their pain and their hurt. And when they do that, it's just, I'm not going to forgive them. Are you kidding me? Why would I forgive them? Look what they did to me. Look what they did. That kind of a thing. I could go personally into a lot of things that, I had a bookkeeper walk off with all my money. My brother was murdered. I could go through awful. I'm not different from you guys through a lot of things, but I forgave all of them. So this is a process for you, and it's really, really a hard one to swallow and to get through. But I think once you do learn that process of forgiveness, or even knowing to pay attention to the wisdom, or pay attention to if somebody is actually lying to you or not, if two and two is not adding up to four, then it's not true. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably not, because there's just something off when you say, just that doesn't just sound right. That's your intuition telling you, hey, and because there's no factual to it until you start asking questions, if it is actually true or not. Okay. And also, too, for somebody, this could be a movement where you need to move out of that type of lifestyle into a higher lifestyle of wisdom, of knowing when not to be a fibber or when not to, when, just stop the pattern. All right. So I'm going to do what's called a horseshoe spread. And it is a 7-card spread. It tells me a lot of different little things about yourself. It also tells you, remember, this is collective. It may resonate with you. It may not. It may resonate with somebody that you're thinking about. And if that person comes to mind, maybe this is something that if you're friends with them, to share with them to help them grow. It's all depending on you and how you read this. However, this will give me some strengths and weaknesses. It will give me also a little bit of a past, things that are holding you back. So it's a different kind of spread. And then at the very end, I'm going to do love. I'm going to start doing love and relationships at the end, because a lot of the times divine doesn't talk about that, because it's not in everybody's realm for that week. However, if it is in that realm, then we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. All right, so let's get started. So somebody is actually thinking too much into the future. This has sort of been a habit of yours. This has been a past habit of yours, that all you do is think about the future, the future, the future, the future. And it's really hard for you to live in the now. This is a movement that you're just going to sort of have to slow down on, because a lot of the times, if we live in the now, it creates our future. So we want to make sure that we're paying attention to that, because this brings new things together. So the 2 of Wands is about bringing things together as well, the number 2, or it can actually dissipate it and separate it. So we want it to keep moving in a forward motion. So it's good to think of the future. However, it's sort of a back burner kind of a thing. It's like, okay, it's out there, it's out for my reach. But if you've got to think of now and what you're doing to get there, because there is something that is going to come up that throws your plan off a little bit. You got to be open to that. All right. So then we also have the 9 of Pentacles. Sorry, I'm getting some downloads here. And the 3 of Wands. So in the 9 of Pentacles and the 3 of Wands, this has to do with something that you're thinking about, because boy, we got the 3 of Wands again, and somebody's more earthly thinking right now because they're more worried about the money than anything. They're more worried about earthly things than more spiritual things, a second dimension. So what I mean by that is their focus is in the wrong place. So we're thinking of our head. We're not thinking of our heart. So if we think of what we really want and desire, we don't think about the money, because if it's the divine, he'll just have that money come. He'll provide for you all the time. But somebody again is thinking way too out in the future, and it's all about the money, which actually can create some stress, again, and then it also can create some deception, because it's sort of like when somebody tells you, oh yeah, you should buy that, it's really really good, and it's a salesman for the product. It's like, it's really good, you'll always use it, you'll never regret it, that kind of a thing, and you buy it and it's like nothing like they said. Okay, so that movement was a false movement, because you were listening to what the world was telling you, not what divine was saying about that product. Saying, you know what, that guy's full of crap. Don't listen to him, because you're going to regret that you bought it. So, just this little message in your head. However, you override that, or somebody overrode that and went ahead and bought it. So the intuition was just null and void. So this is the part that's more earthly. So if you were, when what I mean by spiritual is that you would take that information and say, you know what, is this really something I should be getting? Is this really something I should be buying? He says it's really good. It's really a great item. It's a great product. I'll always use it. I really sort of need one. And should I get this? And you're like, man, you know what? There'll be more later. So why don't you just hold off? And that would be spiritual listening to what is going on. And that's something that's not seen. Our intuition is not seen, so you really want to pay attention to that, because this is our wisdom. Okay, this is the wisdom that's trying to tell you good things to come, or wait, or don't do that, or move forward with it, or don't stay with that person, or that person's not good for you, or move towards that person. Those kind of things. That's something that you just really, really want to pay attention to, because these other items out there are there for you. You've got new beginnings, new energies. You could have all the different kinds of things. However, our future energy is forgiveness. That is part of wisdom as well. Knowing that, you know what, everybody makes mistakes. Not everybody thinks as we are, and our journeys are not the same. And so sometimes people do things out of their brokenness, whether they hurt us or not hurt us. They're just doing what they were taught how to do and how to do it, whether it's right or wrong. That doesn't, make it right. However, we do need to forgive. And that is the hard part, because this is probably the weakness for a lot of people. Okay. For some, these are your qualities. These are qualities are saying, okay, yeah, I do forgive. You know what? Because I want to be forgiven as well for for me, all the stupid stuff I said, or the mistakes. Yeah, I want to be forgiven too. So, you know what? I have an open heart to forgive somebody else. Now, the problem with forgiveness is a lot of people think, and different cultures think, and trust me, I know about the African cultures. If you forgive them, that means that you forgot about it, and that they can do it again a lot of the times. But you forgave me. And I'm like, but that doesn't mean to do it again. So a lot of the times when forgiveness is given, some people take it for granted, and think that they can come back into your life and do things over again, and maybe still have the same brokenness. No, that's not what it means. It means I forgive you, but it doesn't mean I need you back in my life. I don't know who that's for. But definitely somebody is very open to that and forgiving. However, there is a boundary, a standard, and a boundary, because you don't want to be deceived again. Okay. So that standard and that boundary is going to sort of put up a wall, because they'll have to prove that they've changed. Most people, if they come back, it's like if somebody leaves you and they say, oh, I've changed in a week or 2 weeks. It's like, no, you haven't even learned the lesson. It's something happened on the outside that you didn't like, or didn't turn out the way you wanted to, so you came back. Yeah, so people don't change that quick, especially when their core foundation has been broken for so long. It takes time to heal and change and accept that you're broken and you're going through all kinds of things. All right. So definitely. And somebody actually is having a problem doing this. Okay. And this seems to be a past thing, is that they don't want to do the work. Okay. So the instability in their life just keeps going like this. And part of that problem is that they're stuck. They're not moving because they don't want to do the work. So if you want to do the work and figure out, okay, I need to heal myself and figure this out so that I know if they're deceiving me or if they're actually being true. So this is something internally that you have to do. And you only can do that through rest, prayer, and meditation, is to get closer to the second dimension. And that's where divine is. Okay. And then that second dimension, or ancestors, whoever is over there, or your guardian angels, or whoever you believe in is over there trying to protect you, then you will be able to hear them. Okay. So that is something, definitely. Somebody, somebody is trying to keep things inside. I was looking at the moon. And the moon is definitely about keeping things sort of hidden after the Three of Wands. And then we ended up with the Eight of Cups. So somebody might be a little bit shy or ashamed, either way, of sharing something that they need to get out. I don't know who that is. And it does take a lot of effort to do that. But for somebody, they're hiding something, and it's holding back on this offer, because if you were to share and get it out, whatever is burdening you, whatever your heart is heavy on, you will have a new beginning. It will release you. It's almost like a surrender, and then you will have a new beginning. And that new beginning is all about joy and happiness and love, and just coming up to this next vibration. But somebody else doesn't want to do that. It's sort of like if you're stuck in the past, you don't want to do that. You're still stuck there. You haven't healed, so you don't want to move forward. It's a scary place to some people, because if they become vulnerable, then they might take advantage of you, or maybe they'll deceive you again, or somebody will deceive you rather than wisdom. This is your current energy right now. But the number 4 is about trying to get that stability back. The number 4 is trying to get that stability back. You got 2 cards side by side with the number 4, trying to get that balance and that stability back into your life. And the only way to do that is to share with somebody you absolutely trust in that, and become vulnerable and let it out. And let it out in love, and say, I just need to share this with somebody. And that is going to turn around and raise you to a completely different level. Yeah. I don't know who that's for. Yeah, definitely. It's going to bring everything that you've wanted. It's going to bring and it's going to be completed. It's out. You said it. You did it. And you're not ashamed anymore, or you felt like you needed to share this. It's been a burden on your heart. And now it's done. And look at the beautiful, beautiful picture it has created. It has created more wisdom on how to handle something, how to do something, how to trust in somebody. And it's also giving you unconditional love. It's giving you also a new connection and bond to somebody. It's a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So again, this is something that just sort of needs to be shared. I don't know who that's for. Okay. But it's hiding. Somebody may not have a clue about it, and somebody might already know. It's sort of like when you tell something to somebody and you think, oh my gosh, I got to share this, and oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? This was like when I had my sexual abuse. I had to share. It was very scary for me at that time. But then when I shared it with somebody, they said, I knew something was up. And I'm like, you did? Because of possibly the way that I was acting, or my body language, or things I was hinting and saying that hopefully maybe they would catch on and I wouldn't have to say it, that kind of a thing. And two, my sexual abuse, I did forgive my abuser. Will I be around him? Will I allow my daughter to be around him? No. But the thing is, I do forgive. All right. And that releases me to be able to have the whole completion, closing of it, starting to heal from it, and that kind of a thing. All right. All right. All right. Oh my gosh, 2 10s. Okay, so somebody is really going to be opening up. You got 2 10s, you guys, 2 10s. The completion and a beginning, completion and a beginning. This is for your future. This is definitely for your future. However, don't think so far in the future that you don't do your work now or don't do what you need to do now. And we've got a lot of wands, so this is a communication thing. Somebody's going to be talking to somebody, either about their future or, maybe they're in a new relationship that they have to share more about themselves, because this is a beautiful, beautiful offering to have everything. This is the time to be vulnerable to somebody, especially if you're in a relationship. When we do the love reading here in a few minutes, I'll do that next, is that you're going to open a whole new bonding experience. And they're going to understand and they're going to accept you for that. This is very, very beautiful. And if it's a family member that a secret's been hidden, then it's coming out. This is going to rebond the family very much closer. But somebody has to give the forgiveness. Yes, exactly. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So it's saying the victim's card basically is the 8 of Swords, playing the victim, staying in this stuck past thought process. Now it's time to release it, surrender it, so that you can have the wisdom and know for the future. And also, too, if this is somebody with any kind of any abusive types past, then you're not only beginning to heal yourself in that, but the other thing is you're going to be helping somebody else. You have no idea who you could be helping. When I came out about my abuse, it wasn't right away, but there was other times where I was dating somebody and their little girl was being abused and I didn't know, but something told me to share my story a little bit, because she was very young. She was only 6 or 7, very young at that time. And I shared it, and a couple weeks later, she must have trusted me enough to share that that was happening to her. So your story and whatever you do, this movement forward, can also help somebody else. So our pain and our struggles is not to end with us, it's to help somebody else. All right. So let's go to love and relationships right now for you guys, for Libras. I have this new deck. I love it. It's beautiful. But I love this artist here. I love Colette. She's got a beautiful, beautiful, it's this one here, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And then I'm going to use the Moonology one. And here we're just going to do a little bit about your love and relationship. Boy, that 20 minutes went fast. Holy Toledo. Okay. So we have the Web Weaver. It's about synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect. So the Web Weaver has to do with, sort of waiting on the timing that is right for you. So we sometimes as humans want to be in a hurry. We want to be the ones to control and dictate it. However, we really need to wait on divine's timing, because the divine's timing, the second dimensional timing, is not ours, and divine can see everything that is going on bigger than we can. We have no clue. We have no clue. We think we have a clue, and we think we control, and we think we know, but we have no clue. So we really need to wait on divine's intelligence and divine's. And synchronicity is about the dots. So what is it in your love or your relationships that is connecting the dots? Those dots are actually going to show you the red flags. Those dots are going to say, hey, this is the one. The dots are going to whatever. And if it's divine works fast. So a lot of people go on long engagements, 2, 3, 5 years. A lot of that is just somebody doesn't want to commit. All right. But when it's divine, why wait? Because it's a divine intervention and things happen, and that's how he works. He works fast. He if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. The timing is now. The time is right. And the wisdom, it. Okay? That is just part of the process. All right. So, and this is a cause and effect. This destiny, this dot to dot connection that you're with somebody is the cause and effect of something. happening. It's a cause and effect. So if it's a divine intervention, it comes to you just point blank. But if it's you trying to make something happen, or somebody trying to make something happen in a matter where they're forcing it to happen, well, I really don't want to go out with him, but he really keeps asking me, and I really just, I'm really not into, then you're not into him. But because of what's happening, that cause of keeping, then you give in, when actually in reality you should be paying attention to that intuition, the wisdom that, they're not the right one. And if you go out with them, you just say, yeah, you know what, I accepted this because you kept asking me. However, I'm, just not the right person for you, or whatever. Definitely. And so, to clarify, this is the balance between your spirituality and your practicality. I can't even speak today. Full moon in Pisces. Definitely. Okay. So this is about a dance. Okay, this is about, saying, here, I'm this spiritual person, I am this human person, the worldly person. It's sort of a dance between your souls. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. It is a dance between your souls and your spirits, and this is something to actually really listen to, because your intuition is going to tell you all the things in your movement that you need to go, or stop, or don't do this, or it's not right. And your gut intuition will tell you that, because you have to look at, when they're talking about spirituality and practicality, you're looking at world versus divine, second dimension, first dimension. So you have to really look at what's practical and what's not practical. Like I said in the very beginning, if 2 and 2 are not adding up to 4, that it just doesn't work right, or it doesn't feel right, or it's not right, then most likely it's not right. However, if you've been brought together by divine, just all of a sudden, wow, I just all of a sudden met this person. And it's like, wow, how did that happen? I've been looking for years, and all of a sudden, boom, they're there. That's divine. Divine is bringing them to you. It's not, if it's you on the internet and looking on these dating sites and looking, and then, they're looking, yeah, you might be able to meet that way, but most of the time, if the masculine comes towards the feminine, most of the time that is the way it's going to happen, but it's going to come out of the blue. It's not going to come out of, whatever, just, trying to date. When you start looking too much, then it doesn't happen. If you just retract, if your movement says, hey, I'm content where I'm at, I'm happy where I'm at, I finally have accepted that I'm just going to be single and I can enjoy my singleness, that's usually when it happens. When you least expect it, expect it. But when you're looking, you're not ready, and the divine's telling you you're not ready because you don't know how to surrender to allow him to do his work. Cause and effect, divine intelligence. Trust in him. He knows it. He's got it right. All right. So that's your love and your love and relationships. But really listen to the practicality, because that's going to tell you sort of the integrity of that person. Listen, pay attention. The other thing is that the spirituality part, the soul and the character, the spirit, and that is number one. Okay, it's number one. That is the first thing that you should be looking at, because that's what they're saying. That's where your balance is. Okay, if one is way up here and the other one's way down here, that's not balanced. They should be a little bit of both. And you should be able to talk about both. If you can't talk about both, then pretty much you're going to be walking on eggshells for a while, and that's not love, and that's not probably the person that you should be with. Okay, but that's your choice. That's what we have. We have free choice. So that's what the love cards say today, and I hope this helped you. I hope something resonated with you. And man, I'm so excited for somebody, because you got 2 10s coming. So really pay attention to your intuition, because that's going to keep you from being deceived, and it's also going to give you the wisdom for the next step to where you're supposed to go. All right. I hope this was a good day for you, and I hope you walk in absolute truth and absolute love, and we'll see you on the next reading. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you can see the dailies from Monday through Friday, 1 minute dailies. All right. Take care.